Ready for another round? It's Brewsday Tuesday. Here is Huck and Big Nate.
Huck and Big Nate, pop and top.
I always try and pop so carefully, and I think that's why. I mean, I think that's probably why I'm very bad at opening cans. By the way, welcome to another round of Brews Day Tuesday. Um, I'm always anxious, and it would happen at least once a month when Drez and I were doing it. It would happen at least once a month that I would spill beer all over myself, and it was always a can, and it was always like when I tried to like really just rip into it. I think if I carefully open, that slows everything down.
A lot of things happen
We,
just once a month.
we need to do an
Oh
episode
man,
on beer science, though.
is there any? No,
There's a lot of
beer
science.
is art.
No, I mean from the drinking side of things. Like we
Oh,
need to test hangover cures, which I think pickle juice is all around the absolute greatest hangover cure there is. I will never subscribe to any other theory.
all right. So there was a one of the beer events. They gave us a little packet of stuff, and I don't know if I can deal with it right now. Looking it up, but it was a hangover cure packet, and that stuff worked. But a lot of people swear by what's the stuff you buy at the NASCAR track? You open up the little packet and you pour it in water and you drink it.
Uh,
Goodies.
oh, goodies.
Goodies. That stuff works. It's a
Yeah.
goodie. You see what I did there? It's a anyway, never mind.
I just
It's a goodie.
well, and then the other one I would like to test is like the stuff of legend. The eating yeast before you drink.
Yeah, we've talked about that. That's like
I think we need to try it. But also
Jim Cook with
with Sam Adams, but
yeah.
but I don't know if that really is true. Part of the reason I do enjoy beer is I kind of do like the buzzed feeling.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if I would want to mitigate that or eliminate that. But I'm also not drinking as much in a day as he probably is.
No, I mean, yeah. I've
Like
hung
it's
out with
probably
him.
almost like an occupational
I've hung
necessity.
out with him for a whole day and he's got a beer in his hand the whole time. And I don't think that he's not drinking them. I
Do
think
you
he's drinking them.
do you know what his daily schedule is like? Because he looks like he's a fairly in shape individual,
You know, it's been,
but with as much
it
beer
was
as he
pre-sickness that I actually hung out with him last. That's at least 5 years ago. So I don't know. He was, when I go to the Great American Beer Festival, and I would normally get invited to they had a party like on Friday morning. They had a breakfast, and you could go, and they would talk about the state of beer, and I would see him there. And then I usually there was a lunch. I would see him there, and then almost there was the for the Pints for Prostrates would have a rare beer event Friday afternoon over in one of the local government buildings or some nice building, and he was always there. And then if you went to Friday night session, he was there. So I mean, he was, spent the whole day, at least at the Great American Beer Festival, drinking and hanging out. I mean, starting at 8 in the morning until after 8 at night.
So I, I've got to ask, have you ever seen him eat food?
Uh, well, I wasn't seated at his table.
You know, I mean,
If that, I
there's got
can't
to be something
say.
because I mean he's a tall, like thin dude,
Yeah, yeah. I
and
can't say. I mean, I don't know, but I mean, there's a lot of us beer people that drink all day, and I generally eat some, but not that much. I mean, it's a
no, I
thing.
think when we were in DC, I had to make you eat at one point.
Yeah. Well, I'm on a diet. I've lost 40. I lost 50 pounds. I gained back 12 over Christmas. I'm trying to lose that 12 again. I want to get down, to my fighting
You
weight.
know what? Do that tapeworm.
Tapeworm.
Just get you a tapeworm.
I tried, but
You take a
I
little
rejected it.
antibiotic at the end, you'll be fine.
I rejected.
Anti-parasitic.
I rejected it.
We haven't even talked about the beers we've got.
Ivermectin that gets rid of tapeworms.
Does it?
Yeah, and apparently COVID, but let's not go there.
Isn't it a horse medicine?
Mm. Well, actually, in Africa they take it for malaria, and nobody in Africa ever caught COVID. So, but we can always leave that there. Horses take it too, but
I thought it was a horse medication, which means it's
that's
one of
what
those
they
things you could
wanted
go into
you.
like the Rural King and buy.
That's what they wanted you to think. Well,
Look,
you had to go to the Royal King and buy
that's
it.
where I get my heartworm medication from.
They wouldn't
I don't
let
have a dog.
they wouldn't let you buy it, so you had to go to get the horse medicine. It was the same. Yeah,
the
it's
same.
it's malaria medicine. It works great.
But
It also works good on COVID.
you brought in some brews from New Realm Brewing
Okay, so
Company, which is exotic for Marion.
well, before we go there, I've got the psychedelic rabbit, and I just realized I didn't realize till I got here and actually opened this that we're early.
We
We're
are early.
yeah, this is the
By like 3
420
weeks.
beer if I ever saw one. Psychedelic rabbit.
Especially 420
Easter
this year.
is on 420. So the psychedelic rabbit beer, if you don't have this for Easter, then you should just go home because you didn't go big. So yeah.
I've got the Hazy Like a Fox Hazy IPA, 6.5% ABV. And I've had the psychedelic rabbit before. I've not had the Hazy Like a Fox.
So New Realm. Here's my New Realm story. That's why I bought this beer because I like to buy beers I have a story about. So one of the
It's a
early
good talking point.
right, one of the early beer bloggers conference. That's how it started out. And I think I'm just going to call it that for now. They changed it to beer now, but heck with that. I actually have a couple banners that say beer bloggers conference. In any case, San Diego, which is a beer city deluxe.
It means whale's vagina.
I know what it means. Dre's all about that. I'm not sure it really means that. That came from that movie
Anchorman.
Anchorman. I'm just,
Yeah.
again, the news is a lie. So
That-
there you go, right
That
there.
was always a Dres bit, though.
Yeah,
And
it
I
was.
can't believe I just did that. That's like doing a
That
dad
you
joke.
did it just like him.
Oh.
And yeah, you turned into him. So anyway, we went to Stone and they had they're really cool. I mean, this place is really cool. They have like boulders just laying around. It's all, I can't remember exactly, but I think it was beams and huge campus. And they had these things set up and they had these. You ever go to like a convention? They have the like signs that are on little posts and they'll have somebody's picture on it. Anyway, this guy, Mitch Steele, is the brewer. He's one of the brewers at Stone. He's like the head brewer. I don't know what his.
He's the arrogant bastard.
Is he? No. Cook's American, the bastard. But anyway, so I talked to him for like an hour, sitting in this beer garden, chatted him up. Well, at some point he leaves Stone. I didn't really think that much of it. And then I read about this new brewery, New Realm, in Atlanta. And I get to studying on it, and it turns out it's Mitch Steele. Well, I'm heading that way for something. Atlanta being a really RV friendly town, you can park your RV downtown at the marshaling yard for the Civic Center for like $30 and you have a police station there. No worries. So, and the Uber comes or whoever walk. You can walk. I can't walk now, but back in the day I would walk.
I saw you walk.
Well, I mean, not to like downtown. So anyway, I hit up Mitch. I'm like, man, I want to come check out your brewery. He says, sure. So I go there and I have a friend there, my girlfriend, and Leanne. So I call Leanne and I was by myself that trip. I said, Kate, you want to meet me over here? She's like, sure. So we go over there. Man, they treat us like a king. This place has a view of the city. The beer is tremendous. Well, I thought that was like the end all be all. Well, I used to go down to, it sounds like I'm going off on a tangent here, but I'm not. I used to go down to Virginia Beach and I would stay at Green Flash Brewery, which they built this huge brewery. This is back when everybody was building breweries on the East Coast. Huge Green Flash Brewery. And I was in with them because the beer wench was their marketing director. And so I called her. I said, can I camp there? And she goes, oh, yeah. So I'll go there. And sure enough, it's great. So I camped there. So anyway, they closed. I was like, oh, man, that was my camping spot in Virginia Beach. What am I going to do? Well, sure enough, Mitch Steele buys the Green Flash, or I mean, whatever leases. I don't know what the financial deal is. He opens up another New Realm right here in Virginia. And sure enough, he's like, sure, you can camp there. Okay. Problem is, New Realm's a lot more popular than Green Flash was. Like if you want to camp there, you gotta wait till like 10:30 when everyone leaves so you can find space for the RV. But hey, that's not a problem for me because I can drink late into the evening. So anyway, good guy, good beer.
You can't drink all day.
If you don't start in the morning. Can't drink all night usually because you started in the morning.
You got to pick your battles, Huck.
Well, the
In
thing
bed by
is,
7.
we were talking about hangovers. So what is it when you start drinking at say 8 in the morning? I'm just saying beach. Okay, we're at the beach. Pop a couple beers, go out on the beach, get some sun. You come back, you take a nap, like at 3. You wake up at 5, you got a hangover. Now, is that a hangover? I don't know.
Yes.
All right, so you start drinking again. Pass out at 10, but because you had a nap, you wake up again at 2. And there's that big old moon out over the ocean. Plus, there's some skinny dipping going on. So you head on down to the beach, and what do? Tequila, usually. And then you're out in the water. Next thing you know, it's 4 a.m. You're back to bed.
Now,
8 o'clock start again.
now is that where your hangover starts again, though?
I don't know. Well, the tequila doesn't give me a hangover.
I'm the same with bourbon. It does not like
Tequila
I can
does
drink.
not confront me.
Beer's the one I get a hangover with.
If beer and whiskey, which is what I had last night, mind you, I'm
I
feeling a lot better now. If I drink a bunch of craft beer, and of course then I'll go home or to the RV and have a couple of whiskeys, and
have,
that hurts me the worst.
I don't think it's the whiskey.
You don't?
No, because I've definitely done nights where like I've drank an unreasonable amount of whiskey and gotten like a proper buzz going.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then like I wake up the next morning and it's like, man, I'm fine.
I don't know what your unreasonable amount of whiskey is, though, compared to mine.
Um,
If I sometimes just drink only whiskey and
A
I do get a
liter?
hangover, a liter?
a liter. I
That's
mean,
serious. Okay.
I'm not doing it in like. I mean, the other thing is it's like spread out. Like I would start at like 4 and then finish at like 2 in the morning.
Okay, so if a normal Huck,
So pacing it.
a normal Huck whiskey is, if I go to a bar, they go, "What do you want?" I'll say, "I'll have whiskey in a dirty glass," and they'll say, "Ha ha ha," of course, and they'll say, "Single or double," and I will say, "Double," and
Oh, it's
I'll
double.
watch them pour it, and they'll use a shot glass, right? And they pour it in the shot glass, pour it in. So and then I look at the shot glass, and normally it's an ounce and a quarter, maybe an ounce and a half. So basically, we're talking 3 ounces. Well, the one I use at home, I pour a double, and it's a 2 ounce shot glass. So I have 4 ounces, and I can have 4 or 5 of those easily in the evening, if that's all I'm drinking.
But are you waking up hungover if that's all you're drinking?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, like I say, I wake up at 4 a.m. with a little hangover.
Vodka also does not give me a hangover.
Yeah, vodka doesn't bother me. I like vodka. Vodka's good for like Friday because you want to be fresh on Saturday. So I do vodka. And then vodka's also good at noon. I'll start with screwdrivers if I'm day
Bloody
drinking.
Marys in my case, but
Yeah,
yes,
that Liz is the Bloody
I
Mary,
love Bloody Marys.
right? I'm the screwdriver. I will drink a Bloody Mary, but she'll drink like that Zing Zang or whatever. Now, if I'm having a Bloody Mary, there's going to be some real horseradish in it.
Yo,
Okay,
it has to
and
be.
I'm going to make my own mix.
Yep,
I'm sorry. I will. I will.
it's better. The zing
Yeah. I was a bartender for many, many
the
years.
zings. In fact, all of the store bought Bloody Mary mixes taste weak.
Yeah, they're
Like,
not
they're not fully flavored.
right. They're not.
They're
thick.
watered down.
Literally, if I could take a tomato and put it in the food processor, start with that.
Yeah,
A little Worcestershire, salt, pepper, celery salt.
Tabasco.
Oh, I was getting there. Tabasco. Did I say Worcestershire? Did I say it correctly?
You did.
And
I
then
think.
yeah,
I don't know. I can't
Tabasco,
say that.
yeah. And then just like really like a half a teaspoon of horseradish, fresh horseradish.
I love
Throw that in
horseradish.
there, nuke it. And also, now I wouldn't do this, but other people have served me them with actual garlic in them. But you got to blend that
Just
stuff.
like garlic's good in
You
it.
got to blend it anyway to make it right. So you might as well use a real tomato.
Have you tried it with Frank's Red Hot instead of Tabasco?
That's basically it. I put that stuff.
I put that on everything.
Yeah.
It's really good
I
to
have
Bloody
a-
Mary.
I have a bottle of Frank's in the house and in the RV. I probably have one in the Jeep. We could go look.
We go through. That's another one I go through. Frank's Red Hot is my all-time. Like I put that. I do legitimately put it on everything.
Yeah.
So I go through one of those like pint bottles every
back
2
to
weeks.
hangovers, right? Put it on your eggs.
Oh, it's good on eggs. It's
Perfect.
so good on
Yeah,
eggs.
especially if you're hungover. So what you want? You want eggs, bacon, sausage, pancakes.
Protein heavy.
Yeah,
and some
but
carbs.
pancakes.
Soak it up.
Yeah, carbs. You gotta have the carbs, and just pour the syrup to them. Yep. I'm going to the beach.
Essentially, you just need to go to Waffle House and get the All-Star Special. That is also a brilliant hangover cure.
I know. I love the Waffle House,
I do too.
and it's good for low carb too, because I can have the eggs and bacon and tomatoes. But we're getting ready to go to Nag's Head, and I think I like to go to the place where it's like eat and get out, breakfast house.
Eat and get the hell out.
Eat and get the hell out. I go there.
Biscuits and Porn.
I'm
another
going there.
great-
My sticker's
great
coming off the
restaurant.
Jeep. I gotta have a new
Oh,
sticker.
you gotta get a new sticker. All right. So we're getting a little long in the tooth here.
Well, we usually do.
We got to rate these beers, and I'm going to be entirely honest with you. First of all, on Untapped, he's Huck's Beer Buzz. I'm Big Nate Danger. I enjoyed the hams more than it's a West Coast style IPA, not my favorite style in the world. I enjoyed the hams, I think, best of all out of all of this.
Yeah.
But it's
The
still
hams was
decent.
good.
If you like West Coast IPAs, it's exactly what it needs to be. I'd go ahead and give it a 3.75.
That's pretty good. Well, I'm on the New Realm Psychedelic Rabbit Transcendent IPA. 6.5% alcohol, almost a Huck session beer. Yeah, I can't read all this print on here. There's a lot, but this is an excellent beer. I'll give it a 4.5.
All right.
I'm a fan.
That's going to do it for another edition of Brewsday Tuesday. Next week, we're having more beer.
Lagers.
Lagers it is. Thanks, Huck. Bye.
Bye. Can't drink all